Hello, challengers. Welcome. Today I have the one and only Mr. Chris Bear, Mr. Big Cheese, and he is going to show us how he's going to show me right now and you how to put in a speech. What just happened, we just finished our meeting and I didn't get to put my speech into Basecamp before, so he's going to show me how to do it after the fact because it is very possible. So I'm going to start sharing the screen and he's gonna walk us through it. But the first thing we want to show you is that, and I would highly recommend this, whatever your browser is, create a folder where you have all your main resources. This is the Zoom meeting link. And two things to know, we have two websites, the Toastmaster International website and then the Challengers website. So I'm gonna pop them out so you see the difference. So this is the one where we get the agenda, but it's not an educational website. This is our Challengers 734. The one that you do want for what we're going to do today is the other one, is the Toastmasters. So I'm going to open it here and you'll see the login looks a little bit different.
So the Toastmasters International website is where your membership is. It has the training and the learnings and everything about the club and how it operates as a club. But the day-to-day operations are hosted on our Challengers website, challenger734.com, which is hosted under something called Free Toast Host, FTH, which is a totally different system. And not every Toastmasters organization in the world uses that tool. Other countries have different tools they use for that type of thing. And not even everyone in America uses that. Several clubs don't even use the free toast house. They do other things. But we do use it, and it has a lot of functionality for the agenda and all that sort of thing in there.
Amazing. So yeah, Chris, take it away. If you want to use the pencil or guide me,
all right. So you've logged in. And let's just real quick for the people who this is their first time logging in. They go here to the Learning Hub, and you'll find it's under educational programs. When you hit, I think it's when you hit educational programs, it takes you here. No, it doesn't. Okay, scroll down a little bit. Does it? Okay, go back to the Learning Hub. What'll happen is when you first log in, you're not going to have a pathway. So go back to the last page.
So
it's the one you were on. Go back to
education.
Scroll. Not scroll back. You can go back one more. Or maybe pathways. Just go. Actually, I see pathways right there. Let's select pathways. Okay. So when you haven't yet selected a pathway, you're going to have to pick one. And you'll need to go through here and read about the different pathways that there are and what they emphasize, and you'll need to pick one of these. So you'll see there's an overview. They'll tell you about the path. Some of them are about leadership. Other ones are about maybe communication or strategic partnerships. There's a variety of different ones that are there, and that's where you'll need to choose. And you get one pathway with your membership, and additional pathways cost $20. There's a one-time fee of $20 for each additional pathway you do. And if your goal is to eventually become a distinguished Toastmaster, a DTM, you'll need to finish 2 pathways at least to do that. That's the requirement. So then go ahead and go back, if you would. Go ahead and click on Education Programs again. So there's something here called Basecamp, and Basecamp is a separate application. It's the learning management system that Toastmasters uses. So when you click on it, it opens up another window that is taking you into another application on their system. And it's kind of slow to load. It's gotten better over the years, but it is somewhat clunky sometimes. And here it will show everything that's active. So it'll tell you which pathway you're on, and you can see that it has presentation mastery here. There's the club coach program, which is available to him. There's also, I think, a mentorship program that's available as well as once you get to a point where you're ready to try to get your DTM, your Distinguished Toastmaster, that'll show up here too. There's also, it shows the active ones. It'll also have a way to see anything that you've completed. So if you've completed some pathways, that'll have a completed or archived. I don't remember which one they call it, but it's one of those. So go ahead and click on Presentation Mastery, which is the pathway you're actively in right now. And when you come up, you'll see that it says the name of the pathway on the left. It'll show you how far you are in that pathway. So 5% of it completed. Now, each pathway has 5 levels. Levels 1 and 2 are very similar across every pathway. They're kind of like basic fundamentals. That, things about mentorship, things about evaluations, things about communication style, speaking style, that sort of thing. When you start getting to level 3 and above, then you start having more of the differentiation between different types of pathways. So, the icebreaker is one of the things listed here. You see above what's currently highlighted, there's an icebreaker right there. And that's obviously normally the first speech you give, the 4 to 6 minute speech. And what it'll have in here is it'll have all of the documents you download, the evaluation form, the project list, all of the things. It'll tell you how to do it, but it'll also walk you through all of that as well. So you notice that he's completed all these. All of them are checkmarked here, saying that they're done. But this is the type of thing that you go through. So go ahead and you're on your second speech in here, which is writing a speech with purpose. Is that the one that today's applied to, I should say?
Yeah. So today I was telling them about the origin of my name, and I have a little.
So one of the things you can notice, like you'll see right there's writing a speech with purpose, and the next one after that is introduction to vocal variety and body language. So you can take either of those speeches, no matter what the topic is, and emphasize those aspects, and then make that speech apply to this lesson in pathways. Don't feel constrained by just how it's presented or examples that you see. Quite often you can take your speech and stretch it into what the lesson is trying to teach. And you'll find that a lot in later higher levels when you pick projects, because the projects are like you have to do 1 or 2 projects on a level, and there'll be 15 choices or 10 choices to choose from. There's one on how to do a podcast, and there's probably a dozen ways you could approach that. So there's a variety of things in here. So go ahead, get started. So you've opened up the writing of speech with purpose. Mm-hmm. So the first thing it'll do is give you an introduction, tell you what you're going to be learning here. It'll show you all that stuff there. Mm-hmm. Right? And just kind of read through it and then go next. So again, more about the information. What is the assignment? It's introducing you to what the assignment is. It tells you it's going to be a 5 to 7 minute speech. Go ahead next. So this is where you're going to start to interact. And you can do all this stuff before you give the speech. You can also do it after, just like we're doing today. But a lot of this stuff can be done ahead of time. So under the know, they want to say, what do you know about this topic? So what do you know about writing a speech with purpose? So think for a moment. It can be pretty generic. It can be very specific. But what do you know? Say that I'm good at doing research, or I think it's important for us to be able to, or to stay focused on our purpose whenever, the idea here is they really want you to think about what you're working on. So I know this, and then the next thing is going to be, I wonder, right? What do I hope to learn? What do I think is going to come out of this? And if you do it at the beginning, before you even started the speech, then you might be coming up with, I wonder if this is going to improve my ability to have a good call to action. I wonder if this is going to make my speech more impactful or easier to understand. And there's all kinds of things you can say here. There's no right answer, because you're not being graded on this. They just want you to take a moment to reflect. Okay? Go ahead, yeah. And you click away. That's confusing. Mm-hmm. And you don't need to do a second one. Just go click on the next thing.
Got it, yeah.
Some of the interface stuff here is not that clear. So. Okay. Go scroll down. All right. So it says these are the things you'll be learning in there, the competencies. And then now we go to the next page. You open up these individual arrows on the left, above, operational structures. Those are arrows that open up, and see what it says underneath. So it's going to explain to you kind of what the purpose is. So if you get it right away, maybe you don't need to read this. It's not forcing you to go through and click these things, but If you aren't sure what the topic of the speech is or how you're supposed to do it, going through these things will help. Okay, so now it's going to tell you how to write a speech, right? How to formulate a speech. Is it a chronological speech? Is it a topical speech? Right? They want you to think through all these different ideas on how you would do a speech. So if you already know what it is, and if you've already done it, then maybe it's not critical. But the idea here is to give you options, give you background to think about. You got to remember, in many cases, the people who are doing this may be the first time they've done public speaking. So quite often, this is all new, and they need help with this. If you're an old hat, you can just kind of skip through these. But here it says they're giving you an example here of a question. So they are adding questions. They want to make sure that you are, in fact, learning something off of this. So they seem to be upgrading the level of interaction that's required.
Mm-hmm. So this is like a quiz type.
So they're saying, this is the scenario. Which of the following does this represent? So, right, she's going to send out, reach out to guess she wants to start an email list for new potential club members. She wants to, what's the best way for her to talk about this? Seems to me like she's identified a problem and a solution, so I'd probably go problem solution. That would be what I would assume based upon what I see here.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking maybe also causal, like she's trying to cause something, but that's not a choice yet. So this one probably.
And then anyway, hit submit on that one.
Okay. So this is like a quiz type, but impact the positive attitude can have for everyone.
He wants to use an example of a day in his office when he worked with a colleague who approached a project positively.
Maybe comparative, or
that was my first thought, but what's he comparing it to?
Mm-hmm.
Right? This feels like maybe particular general. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking either.
I don't know. I don't see how the other ones fit.
Well, let's say we go with our first instinct.
No. Incorrect. Okay, so try it again.
So we said this one. There we go.
And again, you're not going to get dinged for a wrong answer on this. I mean, because the whole idea is not to score you, but to get you to think about it, right? So, although I don't remember this many questions last time, so they must have added some piece.
This is new.
Present information about breeds of dogs.
Thinking topical, maybe?
Sounds like it to me. Topic is dogs.
Yeah. It's like he's passionate about trains. He likes them since he was a child. He wants to share the story about the locomotive. Its invention, how it changed the world. What is the best way for Slave to organize his speech? Thinking maybe chronological, because he has history. Or problem solution to locomotive.
I guess.
How it changed the world.
Chronological. I was thinking topical, but maybe chronological. I don't know.
Let's see. I would say chronological, yeah.
Okay.
And then questions. And wants to tell his audience that a regular exercise contributes to better overall health. What would be the best way to structure his speech? Thinking problem solution? Or casual?
Causal? It could be causal, I guess. They're probably saying causal. One thing causes something else, right? They have a lot. I mean, this is how they've chosen to break down the formats. I'm not sure I would have 9 formats or whatever they say. So,
finally interested in different economic structures of 2 countries. They would like to present similarities and differences. what is the best organizational comparative?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then last one. Francisco wants to talk about the climbing the world's tallest mountain. He'd like to talk about what happens to the body at different levels of elevation on a mountain. What is the best way for Francesco to structure his presentation? What do you
Well,
think?
here I'm inclined to say it's the one we haven't chosen before.
Particular? No.
No, I think spatial actually, but although it doesn't quite make sense to me, but I'm just kind of going off the fact we're in the seventh question and we haven't answered that yet.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that's more psychology of testing than anything else. All right, let's go to the next. So yeah, we spent a lot of time on that, but yeah, some of them don't have that many questions. Some of them don't have many questions. So that was kind of a shock to me that we had that. So this is showing you more background. He tells you how to tell a story, right? Have a topic. Um, your introduction, body, conclusion, just kind of teaches you all that. Every one of these things is interactive. I think even if you go down here, thoughtful preparation, can you click on that? Yeah, so these all have interactive, they have information. You can take the time to read them if you already know them, great. But however, if you haven't done it before, it's a good way to learn. Okay, so then they're showing you an example of what the documents look like too, underneath that. Right? So these are all downloadable as well. There'll be links to be able to download them later on. But go ahead and scroll down. What is the most important thing? So this is really you figuring out, what your speech is. What is the one thing that's important that you want the audience to get out of this? And then you want to give them why it's important to them. What you want to say, why it's important, and then what do you want them to take away from it all? Okay, so I don't think we need to go over this in detail, but so here though, you want to say what's the most important thing you wanted to say about today's speech? Yeah. What was your number one takeaway message or whatever?
Yeah, so with that, I want to take a moment to show them on. Prior to this, I mean, I hadn't gone through Basecamp, but I do have a breakdown. This is my intro, and then this is the speech that I did today. So that was like my intro, and then my body, three distinctions, and then my call to action was right here. So the main thing I wanted to tell them was about identity and being who you were meant to be. So I'm gonna put that here. One second.
So we can have a separate topic conversation on this later, but that wasn't the message I took away from your speech, by the way.
Oh, well,
we can talk about that at some point.
I'm kind of I also talk about like leaning into your intuition.
So what I took away from it is that you are empowered to define who you want to be and become that. It's kind of what I was hearing, even though you said something else. But anyway, that's a topic for a separate conversation. So you're gonna hit save. You need to hit save for every one of these. Okay. It's kind of annoying. Why does it matter?
Why does it matter to the audience? Because when we're raised, we are told what to do, who to be, etc. As adults, we can now choose.
Okay.
And then what do I want people to hold long after my speech? Yes. So I was telling them about how this became like a touchstone and the ripple effect it has. So I would say, to lean on the intuition was also important. When you're being feeling aligned, yeah.
Okay.
There it is.
So here they want to actually walk you through building out your thing. So if you click on one, like this is someone's idea of what to put in. Can you? Yeah. So you could actually, I think, can you edit this? I don't know if you can edit this.
No, I think this might just be an example. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the idea here is to walk you through the logic of one thing leads to another, which I think your outline already has. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go past all this.
Transitions.
Yeah. Yeah, someone even commented on my speech today saying my transition was so natural, and I'm like, I didn't even think about it. So sometimes transitions are abrupt. Okay, so then part 3, you'll discuss about the speech purpose, right? So you're gonna say, Jim always says, right, or a lot of people say, when you do a speech, at the beginning you tell them what you're going to tell them, in the middle you tell them what you're telling them, and at the end you recap what you told them, what you told them, right? So the idea is anything important you say 3 times. In the beginning you lay the groundwork, this is what I'm going to talk about. In the middle you actually talk about it, and at the end you recap you talked about it. Right. So this is just guidance on, again, how to set up the speech. This is all prior to the speech normally, right? Now, of course, you could do this outside like you did and then come back and fill this in. But so what 3 questions can you ask yourself before you begin to write your speech? Right. So, as you're developing your speech, you're probably thoughts going through your head. What are you thinking? By the way, this seems like more work than the speech I did, so I don't know why it's you've got so much to fill in.
Second would be what?
Since this is only the second speech in on this pathway, it could be that the earlier speeches are trying to give you a lot more foundational work, because I feel that's what it feels like.
What?
Okay, good. Hit save and scroll down. What's the value of writing a clearly organized speech? Okay, sure. Go ahead and write the answer to that.
Engage in transition between sections. Flow smoothly. Define general and specific purposes to help provide speech. Okay. Got so 12 steps out of 15. And there it is.
All right, you need to check these off. Select a topic for your speech. Complete the topic and purpose worksheet. That's actually a download, but you've already. See, the thing is, they use the worksheets, but quite often you do this work outside of a worksheet. I do it in Word or Excel. I do it on. If I'm doing research, I'll do it in ChatGPT or something like that. So quite often, a lot of my notes are from there.
And then Legend is the VP of Education, right?
No, Jamar is.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, he'll be the one who puts the schedule, says you're speaking on whatever, right? So the implication here is you get ready for the speech, then you tell the Jamar you're ready for your speech. But that's not really the way it works. The way it works is Jamar says you're speaking this day, and then you got to figure out what you're going to do.
Got it. So, write the speech.
And of course, that gets into the different ways of doing speeches. Are you writing every word? Are you just doing an outline? What's the deal?
Got it. Okay, there it is. Evaluation.
Yeah, and you notice here, if you want to add tasks, it allows you to, but you don't need to. And this just tells you how grading works or how ratings work. I don't think that's a big deal. So go ahead and go to the next one. Reflect. Okay. So you're going to think about. Okay. All right. So now you've completed. Once you've delivered your speech, now write down what you learned. Right.
Got it. Okay, so I learned that having strong and clear
It's amazing how something as simple as just writing. I know. I wonder. I learned it can be hard. Sometimes I'll sit there and go, "Whoa, what am I supposed to write?"
Yeah, the self-reflection is powerful.
So the idea. Yeah. So now the speech title.
There was "Who are you?" This is speech date. It's today.
Yeah, if you have more than one club, you'll be choosing which club it belongs to. So you put the members are there. You select who your evaluator is if you know who it is. Then which form is this? So which project is this? This is how to write a speech with purpose. Writing a speech with purpose. So you're gonna select that form for him. So yeah.
I think it's.
Oh, I see. It's stuck. Okay. Yeah.
Again,
the interface on this is a bit weird. So it's probably near the bottom, right? It's writing. So.
Writing a speech with purpose,
last one. Okay.
So that is the valuation form
that he would get if you sent it to him.
And here's a
request description. I think if you have a specific thing you want to work on my pitch, work on my pauses, work on my gestures, right? I think you can get into focus, or you can leave a blank.
The other thing you could probably do is you could probably
put your intro here if you really wanted to.
Right.
Now,
what's going to happen here is you can either just save this
or save it and email it.
Since you've already done the speech, emailing it may not make any sense anymore, right? But if you're doing this before the speech, then save an email will send the email to Virgil, and he'll get the evaluation form as well as whatever notes you put in here.
Okay, got it. So then we click next. Review your learning.
Look at all the things you did.
Yeah, you're done. Complete my project.
Yay! Woohoo! Get celebrate.
And you're gonna hit confirm. And now you've completed
that project.
Amazing. Okay, so then that concludes.
Now, a couple things
to note. You can
do a lot of these out of order.
If one of the speeches you want to do is a level 4 speech,
and you haven't finished level 2 or 3 or 1, 2, 3 yet,
you can do that.
Now you won't get credit for completing level 4
until you complete 1, 2, and 3.
But you can
actually do individual speeches from other levels. That's not a problem.
So quite often,
you got a speech on something you want to talk about, and it doesn't fit exactly with one of these projects.
Go look and
see what else there is. You might find something that does work.
One of them,
level 3 speeches is storytelling.
So if you
take a speech and you do a lot of storytelling in the speech, you can make it that. Even though you're not level 3 yet, you can still do that.
Mm, interesting. Perfect.
Yeah, if you look at
Yeah, if
mine,
you look
I've
at
got,
mine, I've got,
you know, various things done at
things
various
done at various
levels.
levels.
But when I
But when I
complete
complete
them,
them,
they'll
they'll
go
go
on to
onto
the
the
record,
record,
and
and
the
the club
club
will
will
get the points for.
Amazing. Yeah, do you want to share your screen and show them that?
Sure,
Sure, I can do that.
Let's see, am I
See, am I still on here?
Let's go back
Let's
to
go back to
pathways. Okay,
pathways.
so
Okay, so
can you see
can
that?
you see that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
so here we are. Education
programs,
right.
right? Okay, home.
Where is?
Where is?
I'm not
I'm not
logged
logged
in.
in. That's why. Okay.
Mhm.
Say it doesn't look
Say it doesn't look familiar to me.
There we go.
There we
Now
go.
I'm
Now I'm
logged
logged
in.
in. We'll go to education programs and we'll see pathway or
boot camp,
Basecamp.
That takes me
That
into
takes
here.
me into here.
So you can see these are the
these are
things
the things I've completed
so
so far.
This is what I'm
This is what I'm actively working on:
dynamic
dynamic leadership,
distinguished
distinguished
Toastmasters in progress,
and then my pathways mentors in progress.
Right. So I hit
dynamic
leadership
is the one I'm working on.
And I
just submitted level 1 completion. Level one is the icebreaker, writing speech with purpose, introduction to vocal variety, and evaluation and feedback.
So 29%
29% complete on the level. If we do the overview,
you'll see,
okay, I did
icebreaker,
writing speech with purpose. So I did these four,
and I've
submitted level completion. But now Jamar, as the VP of Education,
has to
approve that, and then this will go green as well. Level two, I haven't done anything yet. So today's speech will probably be. Actually, I was thinking of a different one.
I'm probably going to make it the negotiate one today. But you notice I've done my two electives for level 3. Connect with storytelling and connect with your audience. And then level 4, I've done nothing yet. And level 5, I've done nothing yet. But I did some of level 3, and I haven't completed level 2 yet. Right, so you can go ahead and do them in a variety of orders. When you notice these say electives, you actually have a choice of variety at that level. And some of them you have to do 2, some of them you have to do 1. So this will come up and show me. I do wish it was faster. But here, minimum 1. So you need to do one for level 4 in this pathway. You need to do one elective project. I'm thinking to do create a podcast since I have a podcast, and we'll talk about that. But you could do any one of these, right? And the idea here is it's trying to get you to think about things that are related to the topic of the pathway. So building a social media presence, right? Also to use skills that are more common today than they would have been in the past. But you've got this here, and then you could find a way to talk about any of these. You could talk about writing a blog, managing online meetings. During the
pandemic, we were all on Zoom meetings all over the place. We learned how to use Zoom meetings, so we could talk about that. There's a variety of aspects in here. But the idea here is we need a certain number of points to get President's Distinguished, which is the highest level. Actually, there's one higher now, apparently. There's now a level for getting a 10. Before it was 9 or 10. Now there's a 9 and a 10, I believe. But when you have, I think you need to get a certain number of people completing level 1, and a certain number of people completing level 2, and a certain number of people completing level 3s, 4, and 5. And so it's important for everyone to be moving on this. And the club gets the points for that. So every speech you give, try to find a way to map it to one of these projects. And if you can't, or you're having a hard time, talk to Jamar, talk to one of the your mentor, talk to one of the old timers, and see if they can help you find a way to fit that speech into a project that does exist. Right, and then the club will get the credit for it. And what I do is I periodically will go in here. If you look here,
you have
this this is the
Toastmasters
website, right? The challengers website.
When you look at
the agenda,
you see this
little person here.
You can click
You
on
can
that.
click on that,
and you can
look at a report. So my report for Chris Bear
since July 1st, what have I participated in?
What have I done? And
here's the list of things that I've done since July 1st.
Marion,
General
Evaluator, Timer.
Everything that I've done and the dates I did it on. So you can go back and find out the dates you were scheduled to speak on. Now, whether or not your hot seats or your last minute fill-ins would be here, that depends on whether you put it in the agenda or not. But regardless, the stuff that you were scheduled to do is here. So go back and look at when did I speak? Are all of those in Pathway? Right. That's one of the things you can do. And this is one thing that I think the officers might be able to do this. If you click on this, and instead of choosing one person, you choose all, you can get the entire list of what everyone did. Right? And so this is a good way for the VP education to figure out who's done stuff and what they haven't done yet. Right? You have people like Clement who every week he's doing education segment, so he's going to have a lot of stuff on here. But there are all the things that you've done are on here. So it's kind of worth noting. With that, also we've got the other thing to note. If you note here under my name, I've got EC5, MS5, SR5, and DL1. This is where you have to change your name to put these letters behind. These are the pathways I completed. I completed level 5 of these three, and I completed level 1 of this one. Right? Unlike the old days before Pathways, where we had different levels below DTM that you could get and put after your name. All we have now is these pathways. So gamification of it to kind of drive you to do things. We don't have a lot of that. One of the ways to do it is to put these letters behind your name.
And then while you're there, can you show them the difference between the resources that are on this website versus the ones in Google Drive?
This website is for us to operate the club. Really, it's around the agenda. We can also do dues through this. We can do membership management. This is where our group emails come out of, our members' emails, our officers' emails. All come from this. And when you're logged in, you're under the members only. Down here, you've got where is it? Member downloads. And under member downloads, you've got folders where years ago I put a bunch of documents in here. So the schedule you can see goes back to 21, so that's a while back. That's not going to be relevant anymore. And we have some old information. But the main thing to note is you've got the meeting forms. And these are all the forms that we use for the different roles. Right. Sometimes there's more than one. Sometimes there's different versions. But generally, everything's here. When we were in person, we would have printed these out and filled them in. We don't do that anymore. And because of that, a lot of people don't even realize that these exist. But if you look at this, it gives you structure. One of the things here, if we look at what's a good one to look at for us, speech evaluation. All right, let's look at that. If you look at speech evaluation, look at this. They've got it's half a page. This is two on one page. But you've got your open, your body, your clothes, and what value did you add? What was your appearance? How was your eye contact? How was your vocal variety? It actually breaks all this stuff down. And you would put a rating, and then you'd put a note. And then at the end of the meeting, we would hand these to the speakers physically when we were done. So imagine if you just have this for yourself to apply when you're doing evaluations for people. It gives you structure in a way where you don't have to think, what am I going to say? How am I going to write it down? And you can leave places blank. I don't want to talk about your posture or I didn't notice your posture because I wasn't paying attention to that, whatever it is. But you've got all those types of things. You've got the all-counter report. Another one, table topics is a big one, right? And I think, is it this one here? Because quite often you'll hear people who have major roles are sometimes called upon for table topics, which we try to avoid. So if you look at this, did it open?
I think it downloaded.
Maybe it opened. It probably opened in another app. Okay, well. That's opening another app.
But why don't you show them? Because what I can see, this is like from 2001. But we wanted to show you, Chris put together a folder with some newer resources, especially for the timer.
So then we can show that as well. So under our email address, we have our own G drive, and it's designed for a couple purposes. There's a members folder and officers folder, but the members folder is this one. And in here, we've got the same forms you saw there. Meeting minutes, membership documents. We've got Toastmaster materials. This is basic stuff like that are off the website. But like, what's the different roles you play? If you're going to be a grammarian, what is that? You can actually look that up under here. I think there's Toastmaster wears many hats as well. Yeah, Toastmaster wears many hats. So you can look up what is the role of a grammarian, of an all counter, and it'll talk about that. But the thing here that I put up here because of Zoom was the timer resources. And under here, you'll see there's a 4 to 6 minute movie, a 5 to 7 minute movie, a 6 to 8 minute movie. There's the eval timer, which is 2 to 3 minutes. There's the feedback timer, which is 1 minute. Right, and there's a table topics timer, which is 1 to 2 minutes. And what happens is you load it as a background video, just like you can do background picture in Zoom, you can do a background video in Zoom. And then you play that. I don't know if you want to bring that up or not. You can play that, and it will change colors when it hits the right point. Now we don't have this for everything, so we also have the slides here, the red, yellow, green slides.
Yeah, let's show them that, because I think I'm recording over the computer right now, so you can see.
You want me to show?
Let me see if it shows on my end.
I can
show. Because I have the interface here. Oops.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you go to change background, you'll see
adjust background and effects
preloaded here on their virtual backgrounds.
There's a little plus mark in virtual backgrounds, and when you hit the plus to add a background, it says, do you add an image or do you add a video? In this case, you're adding a video. But you'll need to download it. You
download it on your computer, and then you're going to upload it to Zoom.
Oh, I thought I already had them. Something happened. But
here's one
I've got going.
Okay. And then what I
do is usually on the timer, I'll just close the camera.
So that's what they see.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens is I forgot which one I brought up, but when it hits the right time, it'll turn green. When it hits the next time, it'll turn yellow, and then it'll turn red. And I do this. This is before the timer apps were available in Zoom. I know a lot of people like to use the app, but this is something you can do that's a little bit. I always like the idea of how it is, but that was me. So
yeah, and then just so you know, so what he's doing is he's covering the camera. He told me you could use a sticky note or something to put it on top, and when you do that, he'll disappear and just leave the entire background. And what's cool about this is the timer roll can be really have a lot of pressure if you're doing multiple things, but this makes it easy. Back in the day, you want to go ahead and show them the cards, because they're also downloaded if you're more old school and you want to use the backgrounds.
So I would use this,
and then when you hit 2 minutes as an evaluator, when you hit 2.5 minutes as an evaluator, and then when you hit 3 minutes as an evaluator, whatever the timing is.
And then
afterwards, I always go back to something generic, and then I'd start again when the next person started speaking.
But this requires you to actually have a
stopwatch to time yourself.
Yeah, you have to have the stopwatch and then be aware of the timings, because the timing for the speeches is like 5 to 7 minutes. But table topics is less. It's 2 to 3, right? And then
yeah. And that's actually on one of the documents in the
download section, the members download section.
There is a
we saw the timer report.
But I think the timer report actually does break down what the normal speeches are, the normal roles are.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. And then also when you are selected, let's say, to be the timer, the Toastmaster will ask you, hey, timer, what is your role today? And if you don't know what to say, where can they find the form that tells them the script that they say?
For what?
For the roles. Like when the Toastmaster calls on them.
Do we have the that listed here? I'm not sure it's on these documents. There is that. I mentioned the Toastmaster wears many hats. Let's see if it's under that one. So it might be under that.
Yeah, if you want to share your screen again, let's see.
Yeah, let me find it real quick. One of the things to note is a lot of clubs out there put this stuff online. If you just do a search for it, you'll often find it. Is it Toastmaster wears many hats? Let's see. Because this explains all the different roles. Tell you what to do before the meeting, during the meeting, after the meeting. Like timer. Okay, so it looks like this isn't actually giving you the text. There are places online to find the text. And there are documents where the text is almost prescribed that you have to do it a certain way, like when we're doing speech contests and the like.
Yeah, let me make a pause on the video right there so we can find that one. All right, so we are back, and Chris was able to find the links for these.
So these are dated 2019, so it's a while back. But if you look at here on the Toastmasters website, I did a search for club roles and resources, and so it came up as serving in a club meeting role. That's the actual keywords in there. And underneath there, they've got links to different documents for the different roles. And in here, it has the script as well as a logging tool for if you want to use it. So here's the script for, where's the download button? There we go. For this. Alrighty. So if I open something like this here, hopefully you can see. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the timer script, right? Greetings. Table topics is 1 to 2 minutes. So if you really want to have something written out, this would have that in there, and then you've got the actual log you would use to time people. Right? So there are documents like this out there that have a script in there, and they are on this serving in a club meeting role.
Yeah, so as you can see, there's a lot of different resources, almost like too many resources. So this video is to help you guide, but what we'd recommend is download the ones that you feel comfortable and then have them
also if you're not sure, you gotta remember these are a little more genericized, and in some ways our club runs a little different. For example, the word of the day is not selected by the grammarian, which is the normal in Toastmasters clubs. In our club, the word of the day is selected by the table topics master. And not only that, we call it table topics, but other people call it topics master. So there's just minor differences that you need to learn between clubs, and that's the way our club operates.
Yeah.
But one of the things I found is if you want to just go ask ChatGPT for help, you can say, hey, I'm the timer this week for my Toastmasters group. Please give me a script that I can introduce my role.
Yep.
And it will write it out for you, and it does a pretty good job. So
amazing.
When you can't find it, ask chat.
Yeah. Speaking of that, so I wanted to show real quick. So this is my folder where I have I'll show my screen so you can see it too. Yeah, where I've downloaded all the resources to keep it more synthesized. And this is what he was talking about. For example, for the grammarian, when you open this one, I was going off of the script, but then I blocked this out. This is an edit, so feel free to once you download these guys, edit them, put your own notes, because this is the part where in our club we allow the table topics master to give the word of the day. So when this video, we're gonna take you just as far as we can, but after that, it's gonna require exploration. Now here's where I've downloaded the timers and also the cards on the Google Drive. It doesn't show you the thumbnail, but that's why I'm bringing you here, because basically these are the manual way of doing that. I have the script here, and then these are the different timers. You can clearly see that for evaluator, you would use this timer. For feedback, you would use this timer. Table topics, this one. For speeches, depending on the time of the speech, you would use this one. So I'll go ahead and show you
And
now.
honestly, if you have trouble doing this, because you do need to change your background when you do this, you're welcome to just use red, yellow, and green pieces of paper or slides or whatever and hold them up. And when we were in person, that's what we did, right? We'd hold up a red, we'd hold up a yellow, we'd hold up a green. So it's perfectly fine to do that as well, as long as it's visible on your screen, that they can see you.
So this is where you would change it. You select add video, and then I'm gonna point it here. I would recommend you do this before, like download all this.
Yeah, so we don't see what you're looking at right now. You're looking because it's a Zoom function. They don't share the Zoom windows. But if you go down to your next to the video button on your screen, there's a little arrow that you hit. When you click on that, you've got the adjust background and effects. You open up basically the backgrounds, and you've got the ability to add virtual backgrounds. And I just have them all saved in here. So the next time I log in, it's already there.
Yeah.
And then you can I just leave that open to the side on timer, and I click on the one I need at a particular point.
Exactly. That's what I'm showing them right now. On my end, I'm adding all the timers. I think I must have done an update or something where they got erased, but it's good to do this.
It happens once in a while, but yeah. I don't know why it happens because I've never deleted them.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I have to reload them. Although usually it's every couple years. It's not that often. So maybe you just happen to get unlucky.
And then you'll notice that you can't see the title there, but if you hover over it, it will show you right there. That's the 5 to 7 minute timer, 4 to 6, etc. And I personally, I don't use the images anymore because it's a little bit more work, but it can work. And lastly, for other type of timers, like I don't think we have a 1 minute timer in between speeches, but
we do. We have a feedback timer.
Okay. This is the feedback one. But additionally,
feedback is 1 to 2. You have table topics 2 to 3. You have evaluations 2 to 3. Table topics 1 to 2. And then you've got 2 to 3 for evaluations. The other ones are numbered, right? 4 to 6, 5 to 7, 6 to 8. Because those cover most of the talking.
Mm-hmm. So see how I just went green? So it does it for you automatically. You can block yourself out. Now, if for whatever reason you need another timer or a custom time, if you go here to the app section, you'll see a timer that pops up and you can set it, and this one will display over here. And for people, I think it's on this side, right? It'll show like a different timer. So you can see that, but those are two separate functions.
It also shows up at the top of the screen as well.
Right here. And the good thing about this one is that it makes a sound at the end, whereas this one
I turn off the sound.
Oh, okay.
I actually don't like any interruptions in someone speaking.
True.
So that's my and that was one of the things we used to do. If you go over, you go over. That's it. That's on you. That's on you. It's not on anyone else. So that was the philosophy behind it. So I actually turn off the sound whenever I use that.
Okay. Sounds good. Anything else that we missed?
There's a lot more we can cover, but we're already over an hour.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Well, that concludes this. Lastly, there is a phone number. So if for whatever reason you can't get a hold of your mentor and you need it, and you can call Toastmasters directly off of the. Let me share my screen. Let's see. So if you go here, there should be. Jamar had given me that. I believe that the phone number, but so this is Basecamp. From here, there's a toll-free number that you can call. And so this is it. Yeah, the 720. You can call them, and they can also walk you through Basecamp and navigate any of the website resources. Cool.
So I reported a service down last week, and they confirmed that it was down. So it happens.
Amazing. All right. Well, Chris, thank you very much for this. I'm going to wrap this video up. And
the other thing to note, if you're an officer and you want to figure out how to do something or what you need to do, then you can also ask them. They know all the answers to that too.
There you go. Sounds good. All right, guys. Well, good luck on your journey here at Challengers, and we'll see you on Friday.